Well, you know what we're going to be missing soon is college football. Tomorrow night's the big game, the national championship game. Alabama's taking on Clemson in a rematch of last year's title game. We're calling on Jesse Palmer for more on how these two teams stack up. Jesse, good morning to you from sunny Tampa. It looks much warmer than it is here in New York. Okay, Jesse, what do you think the key for both teams will be in this game?
Okay, first off, Paula, it's 35 degrees right now here at Raymond James Stadium. It is not much warmer than it is in New York City, but I think defense is going to be a huge key in this game tomorrow for both of these teams. I think for Alabama, they've got to do a great job getting pressure on Clemson's quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Bama's registered 50 sacks this year, and I think in the secondary, Alabama has to be great in man-to-man coverage situations against a really good wide receiving group from Clemson, led by Mike Williams, who I really think is an X-factor in this game. For Clemson defensively, their defensive line has to dominate. They've got to slow down Alabama's rushing attack and force true freshman quarterback Jalen Hurts to beat them throwing the football. You know, they always say defense wins championships. I think that's going to hold true tomorrow night. I think this is going to be a much lower scoring game than the one we saw last year.
Speaking of last year, Bama won 45-40. It was a pretty wild one. What do you think the differences are between last year and this, though?
Well, I think for Clemson, I think it's just confidence, and you mentioned it. Last year was sort of uncharted waters for them. That was the first time they had been in a national championship game under head coach Dabo Swinney, and that was a game that really nobody gave them a chance to win. But you mentioned it, they played extremely well, only lost that game by 5 points, and of course they have a lot of key players that played in that game back this year, so I think they feel very confident. For Alabama this year, there's a lot of question marks, and I think a lot of it surrounds their quarterback, Jalen Hurts. He's only a true freshman right out of high school, playing in the biggest stage here in this stadium. How's he going to be able to handle the pressure? And, of course, just a little bit over a week ago, they changed their offensive coordinator. They changed their play caller, so Steve Sarkisian in, Lane Kiffin out. How does that change this offense? There's some intriguing storylines in tomorrow night's matchup.
Dan's going to be sending you some hand warmers for that chilly weather there in Tampa. All right, Jesse.
Thanks,
hey
Jesse.
Guys, I'm Canadian. I'm getting a tan out here. I'm laughing.
All right, Jesse. Well, you know that you have a busy week on ESPN. A reminder that the national championship game tomorrow night, 8 Eastern on ESPN at Raymond James Stadium there in Tampa. The game's also streaming live on the ESPN app or watch ESPN.